Hey, everybody. Welcome to your Vorpal board stream. It's Tuesday night, and tonight we're going to be streaming Death Valley, which is the next game coming from Button Shy. It's currently on Kickstarter. It's crushing it. It's at $55,000. It's got 2,500 backers already. It has 3 days to go. If you haven't checked it out, jump over on Kickstarter and give it a look. We'll drop the link into the chat here. But what's cool is we're going to be playing it tonight, and I'm joined by none other than Kevin Ellenburg, who's the designer of the game, and Nifty Swirlies from Button Shy, Jason Tagmire. Thanks for coming out today, guys.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Yeah, it's great to be here.
Yeah. So a quick note, a couple notes before we start. What you're seeing tonight is in Vorpal Board, which is our web-based platform for playing tabletop games. We brought the assets in for Death Valley, and then everything you see is just in a browser. So the video and the audio and all of us moving our mice around and all that sort of stuff. That's all browser-based. If you want to see more information about how that tool works, you can check it out at vorpalboard.com, and that's the last I'll talk about it. So the other note is that we're using pretty close to final assets. These are from the print and play. When I brought them in, I actually didn't cut the bleed all the way out of the cards, so they're a little bit bigger in a couple of dimensions than they will be on the final cards, but you're going to get the basic idea while we play. So those are my two little notes before we get started, and we'll get down to actually doing the playthrough in a few minutes. But I have some questions for these two gentlemen before we start, and I'm going to start with Kevin because Jason, you're old hat. You've been here enough. You can hang out. Hold on, I'm gonna drop real quick. I'll drop that game link so everybody can go check it out on Kickstarter.
I'm ready for watching Kevin under the lights.
Yeah. So there's some cool bits about this game. If people have seen our streams before or know anything about Button Shy, one of the things that I personally like a ton about Button Shy as a concept is the design challenges. And this game was a design challenge game. So Kevin entered this game into the design challenge that they ran for design an 18-card game about a specific location. So yours is about Death Valley. So Kevin, tell me about your connection to Death Valley. Do you have a personal connection to Death Valley, or do you just think it's really cool?
I've been to Death Valley on a family trip, and it is like a cool place. I've done a lot of camping and hiking, and when I was thinking about what to design for this contest, I thought about some of the places I've been hiking. I thought about a trip to Las Vegas I did when I went to Las Vegas, I was thinking about blackjack, and then part of that trip was also going to Death Valley, and I made the connection of, okay, let's have a kind of blackjack-like game with danger and set it in Death Valley National Park.
Cool, very cool. See, I've never been to Death Valley because the name of it, I think, is spooky and probably the unbearable heat. So it's
very hot.
Yeah, I haven't checked it out. But this particular game, I think thematically is cool because obviously it's like a press your luck situation, right? We'll get down to the gameplay in a bit. But like, you're taking chances while you're on this journey. There are hazards that could ruin your trip, right? And I think it's kind of funny because like ruin your trip for Death Valley would like mean death, probably. But like in this game, it's all right. You'll just bust and it'll be fine. So give me some details, Kevin, about like your background as a designer. So before this session, I went, and as always, I like stalked you online. And like I found like your page of designs and stuff. So it looks like this is something you've been doing for quite some time.
It is, yeah.
Now, is this like the first game was this one of the first games that you pitched, or have you gone through like the pitching process a bunch?
I've gone through the pitching process a bunch, and I've done a lot of contests, but this is the first one that is being published right now.
That's very cool. Like and everyone I've ever met that was part of a Button Shy production, it usually falls into that category, which I think is very cool. You know, it's people who have done a lot of designing, maybe done some pitching, maybe gone to some shows, maybe done, Unpub or one of those events. But to see sort of like their cool small game get published, I think is always very exciting for me. So congratulations, first and foremost, because it seems like this is a wild success, even by Button Shy standards. The campaign seems to be going really well. one thing I'm gonna take us on a slight tangent just for a second, and I apologize to anyone who is in the chat who is here for Death Valley content only, and if not Death Valley content, get out of here. I saw on your Twitter handle that you were involved in like the Netrunner like Rebirth project, which I'm particularly interested in because I've never played Netrunner, which you wouldn't think I'd be interested in Netrunner, but I missed it when it was popular. I just never got into it, and then I only really started learning about it more when like FFG, ended the game or whatever. And you're involved in that Rebirth project for Netrunner. So like, is that something that is taking a lot of your time? Like, how are you involved in that project? What's that like?
Yeah. So at one point they were looking for more developers to join their team, and I signed up, I interviewed, and my involvement has been mainly on development of cards for the upcoming System Gateway, which is basically a new beginner set, kind of like the old core sets FFG made to get people into Netrunner. That's coming out later this month, actually. And so a lot of my involvement is meetings with the dev team, working with playtesters. We have a whole Discord with a bunch of playtesters doing games and giving feedback, and working on some new upcoming sets that I've been in testing too.
Cool. All right. Well, I had to talk about it because I'm fascinated by the idea of a community kind of banding together to keep alive a game that's gone out of print. I think that's very cool. And just that you guys are actually like releasing, like having a big release of content and stuff. Like, I think that's very cool. So if people haven't checked out that project, look into it. But I won't talk about it anymore. I promise.
I will confess that I had to sell my Netrunner out of anger. It was out of anger that nobody would play it with me. So I at one point was selling games I never played, and I was just so mad because it was something. I love asymmetry, everything about it, and just I couldn't find anyone to play it. So I sold it just to get rid of that. That defeat that I see every time I stare at it. I can't find someone to play it with.
You had to have it out of your house. Get this
exactly.
game away from me.
I regret it so much, though.
Yeah, it seems like a very cool concept. I love the idea of like factions that have completely different win conditions and all that. Like that sort of asymmetrical stuff, I think is very cool, and obviously extremely difficult, I assume, to balance and develop and all those sort of things. So, good luck with that project.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So before we play, one thing I wanted to highlight, and somebody in chat, SubcomFreak1, was talking about the art of this game. I wanted to do a specific call out for the art because I think it's awesome. I love the color scheme of the art. I'm going to zoom in on a couple of the cards here, just so people can get a really close look. It's all locations in and around Death Valley. And you'll see that the mechanics directly are about going on a trip to Death Valley and scrapbooking and sort of collecting these locations. And each of the locations has different sort of little rules associated with it. And then a neat bit, and I wanted to ask whose idea this was, a neat bit is that every single card has, like, the flavor text on the card is like a fact about the location, which I especially like because when you actually get into the game, it does seem like you're building a scrapbook. You have the art is sort of like torn pages and stuff. So Kevin, was that part of your original design to have have it be facts on the cards, or did that come up later?
That was part of my initial design. I'm a big fan of Wingspan, and I love how it does all those facts about all the birds. And for a while, I wanted to find a game project where I can have that level of fun information on all the cards. And so as soon as I thought of Death Valley and I was researching the different sites that would be the best ones for the 18 cards, I was thinking about those fun facts and how to tie in what the card actually is to how its ability works. Yeah,
it's extremely cool. And I think people will see like the locations tie into the things about the card. So like I think it's sort of a perfect match. There was a comment from Subcom Freak again, I think perfect for a tourist shop. Jason, you got to call the tourist shops. You got to get on the phone
I
out
know.
there.
The problem with the tourist shops, and like we looked at it with like Sprawlopolis too. Like there could be like city versions of Sprawlopolis in like tourist shops.
Perfect.
But the tourist shops want these for like $2, and that's the one thing that we're up against. Is they're like, oh, a card game, it's nothing, a couple bucks, right? And I'm like, oh, not really.
Yeah.
That's the one problem we're up against. So.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Gotta figure that out.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so and also I wanted to mention the actual artist. The artist's name is Fashri Maulana. Very cool art. As usual, Jason, kudos to you of sort of combining, cool design, small scale, cool art. That's kind of like the package. I think for me that's been very much, and also like the texture on the outside of the button shy wallet, right?
Oh yeah.
And so those factors really I think are coming up in spades in this button shy project.
It was so hard to find this artist. I can't express how hard. We went through like maybe four artists before we found him, and I found a game that he did called Village Song. He was the artist on, and the art is similar to this in that it's there's not a lot of line work and really great color palette and all that. And I was like, this is exactly what we're looking for. But before that, there was a pixel art version at one point. There was this one that this artist just couldn't do it at all. So many different versions, and I'm glad we had the time. And like even we had to extend our contract. We did a year contract. I think we extended it twice, like because we just couldn't get the art the first time, and everything just took so long to get together. But it all worked out really well.
Yeah, I think that the look is super unique. I mean, I one thing I wanted to ask you, because you're an old hat on Kickstarter. One, like, has anybody in the world run more Kickstarters than you? Like, have you looked into that?
No, because I think there's a couple companies that have like go back to the old days of Game Salute, and Dan Yarrington, I'm sure, has run. I thought it was in like the 70s, like 5 years ago, and we've done like 40 some. And then I think like Eagle Griffin's done a bunch. There's a couple companies, and Simon, and there's a couple that have done a whole bunch, but I've done a lot. We did one a month for a year for a while, and then slowed down it since then. But it's someone reminded me that it was like 48 the other day, which is just wild.
That's crazy to think about. Having we ran one, just sort of going through that whole process on a once a month basis would be just...
It's gotten really easy. Like this Kickstarter, like I've done so little, which is amazing. Like
he's admitting two
updates. Well, no, I mean it was 36 hours of work before it, right. Of up all night the night before it and things like that. But since it launched, it's been just like it's so smooth sailing anymore. We don't have to beg for backers. It either happens or it doesn't. And a lot of that is like picking and choosing the right games. We release a lot of games, but we don't put them all on Kickstarter. We just do the ones we know are going to do well, or do okay. But this it gets easier as it goes, but it's a ton of prep.
Yeah,
but the process gets easier. Yeah,
and I think like obviously you get to keep building an audience, right? And your audience is on Kickstarter, and every single one, a few more kind of come, right? And I think this game hits a perfect note art-wise, right? Like for lack of a better way of putting it, like a lot of Kickstarter is like kind of getting people to click on that game to come in and like look at it.
60% art is how you're getting people.
Yeah. So here's a question for you. Do you think that Kickstarter? I just saw that Kickstarter is going down for a couple hours tonight.
Yeah.
Do you think they're trying to slow you down?
I just posted about this whole session before the thing goes down, and I'm like, oh my god, I only have so much time before it goes down. I have to post this now. I think it's gonna hurt us. I think we need a credit or something. We gotta revolt here.
Well, I actually kind of thought about that, right? Because sometimes like the last 4 or 5 hours. I mean, you run a ton of Kickstarters, right? Last 4 or 5 hours can be wild, right?
For example, if like we were just ending, or if we just started, it would be crucial. Like if you just started today's Tuesday, a ton launched today. Yeah. They're going to lose some key hours on the key first day, which determines the entire campaign. I think there's going to be some people who are pretty mad out there.
I mean, I would imagine, right? If you take a huge campaign and turn it into dollars per hour, right? You take like a letter games or something like that.
Dollars per hour, but there's also specific hours that are so much more important than any others. And it's that day one or that last, your 48-hour day. Those ones, like this was maybe if they like told everyone this was going to happen 2 weeks ago and people could plan around it.
Yeah.
But it's kind of sudden. I just saw it today. I think some people are pretty mad.
I think they only started showing it this morning, as far as I know.
Yeah.
Like it was like 12 hours in advance or something. I saw it this morning and I was like, uh-oh. Hopefully that's not during the stream.
Yeah. Oh, I know. And we had one where it went down on, unplanned, and it was just like Twitter was just madness. And, it was early on a Tuesday and it was right after people launched. So yeah, that's tough. There's some real important time for some campaigns too.
Yeah. So what does the next few months look like for Button Shy? I mean, one of the things that obviously is starting to happen is, Gen Con says they're going to have Gen Con, maybe PAX Unplugged happens this winter, was that a big part of your sort of business stuff before quarantine?
Not a ton of conventions, but I mean, not for sales. Like we did PAX Unplugged every year and we did a lot of sales there, and it was a good, end of year sell off of stuff. So missing PAX Unplugged last year was pretty painful, but most conventions are just networking for us. Like I'll go, meet with people, see new games, sign new games, all that stuff. So, missing Gen Con, missing like Essen, because I got to go to Essen the year before, missing all that is it's just makes everything virtual, just like this. And, the only way you can play with people are, because like I got to see Kevin at PAX Unplugged, and I don't get to see a lot of our designers. So that's a fun thing. But for us, the next few months are fulfilling 1 million copies of Agropolis. It comes tomorrow. And I projected it at 6 weeks of making 500 copies a day and mailing 500 copies a day. So man. I just, it's going to be tough. So
load up your cell phone. Yeah. Load up your cell phone with a lot of podcasts or something. Holy moly. That's just going to be a grind, man.
That's it. And then new games, like we're doing something new for Button Shy, which we really haven't announced yet, which exclusive is for Tussie Mussy, where we have 3 expansions coming out, but we're doing them all in a single wallet, which we've never done, like small expansions. Like every wallet is playable on its own, and this is our first wallet that's not playable on its own. It's just loaded with expansions for the game. So it'll be on Kickstarter in May, 2 years after Tussie Mussy kickstarted, and it's going to be 3 cool little mini expansions.
Cool. That's neat, because you need that other wallet, I think, right? Like that's the tricky part about expansions, right?
People ask for that all the time, and like usually we do a couple cards here and there, so it doesn't make sense. But we're just like popping out 3 expansions and filling that wallet up. Yeah,
no, that's cool. I'll definitely check that out. So because I have a copy of Tussie Mussy, I'm waiting on my Agropolis. I Put a special star on that one or something, Jason, while you're packing up all those thousands of copies.
I'm dreading it.
So the last thing.
Oh, go ahead.
The last thing I was going to bug you about is where's the Legacy game? I want to know about the Legacy Button Shy game.
So, it's signed. It's unannounced. But it's the winner of our last contest, which was Legacy Tales Barataria. But it's not called that anymore. Okay. And it's not Pirates anymore. It was a pirate game, but it is Pirates still. It's just they're like rats and mice and stuff. So it took the whole pirate theme, which can be, it can be kind of down and dirty and go into areas that are not super fun. So we kept it sort of rooted in reality, but with these animal characters, to where it almost kind of feels like Dustin had a couple references that were actually mice stuff, but to me it feels a little bit like oh my god, what's the name of that Wes Anderson movie with the fox, Fantastic Mr. Fox? Fantastic Mr. Fox. It almost feels like that crew, like in this game, which is cool. It's a total different feel to it. But you mentioned before we were on this that you love like the short 15-minute games and all. Yeah. But it's a I forget how many, like 10 or 12 session campaign little beast of a game with a lot of rules, a lot more rules than we normally have. So it's completely different, and it's going to be fun.
I'm excited about it. Tell me that the cards get messed up. Do the
cards like torn up?
Something,
or,
yeah. Do the cards get holes in them or written on?
You got to do like you got to step on them and smash them like Charlie McDennis. It's always funny.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no smashing, but there is some modification to them.
Cool.
For sure.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited about that because I'm kind of a sucker for legacy mechanic just generally, but like I think
I am too.
The one thing that's a bummer about the legacy mechanic, in my opinion, is like you're buying like a really expensive box of stuff. You play it through once, and then you're like, oh man, you know.
Every legacy game says you can play it at the end, but like it's the journey, you know.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to play it at the end.
Yeah, totally agree. But I'm very excited about the prospects of a button shy wallet based legacy game. I think that's very cool. And also because like I buy a bunch of your guys' games, so like some of them get pushed out of the rotation naturally by new ones. So it's like, okay, I'll get one, I'll play it through like a maniac 12 times, and then I can let it get pushed back. So no, that's cool.
I didn't even think about it that way. So you can let it go.
Yeah, exactly, right? So I mean, the natural order.
Of,
that's one nice thing about legacy games is you can finish, quote unquote, finish them, and they don't still mock you from the closet, right? That you're not playing them.
Yeah.
So, no, that's very cool. I'm excited for the legacy stuff. Hopefully we are all seeing each other at conventions in the fall and winter. That would be extremely cool. So crossing fingers for everybody. Cool. All right. So I think we're gonna dive into some gameplay here. We're gonna try to play the game in a couple different ways. It's a 1 to 2 player game, so there is a solo mode, and there's also a variant that we're gonna try to do after we play 1 or 2 sessions of the normal mode. It's an 18 card game, just like the button shy concept. It comes in the foldable wallet. Obviously, take a look at the Kickstarter if you want to take some close up views of what all that stuff will look like. And here's the basics of the game. These are all locations, and there's sort of 3 different zones that we'll have on the table. We're going to have what's called the desert. I'm going to put all the cards real quick back in the deck just for to make this a little bit cleaner. All right, so the 18 cards are now back in the deck. What we're going to do is we are going to start just like this. We're going to have a deck, and we're going to have one face-up card, and that's called the desert. And then we're going to start with Kevin and I. I'm just going to say Kevin and I are playing first against each other. And then on our turn, we have a couple of options. We can take this face-up card and add it to what's called our journey, which is going to be a row of cards in front of us. Or we can take the top card off the deck and add it to the journey. You can take it from either of those locations. If I take the face-up card and I add it to my journey, I draw and replace another card right there in the desert for the next player to either choose or not choose. We would go back and forth, and as we're adding stuff to our journey, if we ever have more than 2, so 3 of any of these hazards that are on the card, we're going to do something that's called busting, and I'll talk about that in just a second, but that's what the point of these hazard icons are on the cards. So let's say after a couple of turns, this is my journey. Hopefully we don't get all... Of course we do. Of course we do. Imagine that these aren't all 3 the same hazard. But let's imagine that this is my journey. So on my turn, I could, if I don't want to take a card to add to my journey, I can actually move a card from my journey down into what's called my scrapbook. And my scrapbook is going to be another row of cards right below the journey. And what that does is it takes a card and it does just like this. You always fill the journey from left to right and the scrapbook from left to right. And when I move a card to my scrapbook, I can also take any other cards in my journey and place them underneath the card that I'm moving to my scrapbook. And then after I do that, I can take any number of cards from my journey and optionally shuffle them back into the deck if I want to. The point of moving things between the journey and the scrapbook is scoring implications at the end of the game. We're going to continue to do this back and forth until there is exactly 1 card left in the desert, which is this central area. And at that point, when there's 1 card left in the desert, we're going to score our totals. The way scoring works is very straightforward. The number of stars that you have in your journey row is summed up. So however many stars you have in this row. And then all of your cards in both journey and scrapbook, you look at the special scoring rules on them. So if I look at this Eureka Dunes, I get +1 point per hidden card in your scrapbook. Hidden cards are cards that are underneath other cards in my scrapbook. Every card has a unique scoring condition. So you do all your stars, you do all your scoring conditions. Whoever has the most points wins. How did I do, Kevin? Was that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay. All right.
Well
So
done.
one thing I'm going to bare my soul here for a second, and I'm going to admit that the first time I played this, I didn't understand. I admitted to the guys before we got on stream, I didn't understand what these numbers meant. And if you look at the context of the deck, it actually makes a lot of sense. The numbers is the frequency of that hazard in the deck. So there are 6 sun cards, and there are 3 animal cards, and I think there are 5 rock cards and 4 water cards. Top of my head, I think that's right. But that's a good indication where if you're looking at the other player, you're looking at your player's tableau on the table, you can get a better feel for, is it safe for me to keep pressing my luck and drawing cards based on how many of each suit are already out on the table. And so I think that the tagline that you guys are using for this game is it's a combination of a press your luck and like a tableau builder. You're pressing your luck by drawing more cards because you might bust by getting too many of the same suit on your side of the table, and you're building a tableau out of all these cards in your journey in your scrapbook. A couple little things to note, because it will come up, is that position of these cards can matter depending on the scoring conditions of some cards. There are some cards that say plus additional points based on certain cards that are adjacent to it. And adjacent for the purposes of this game is orthogonal. So up, down, left, right from the card. And that makes the order in which you pull things into your scrapbook and how you're shuffling things back into the deck matter a lot, because you need to really think about how you're kind of structuring your journey and scrapbook to score as many points as possible. So, all right. So that's that. I'm going to return all this stuff to the deck. I'm going to shuffle. And then I will just draw to table face up. And look at that. The one that I actually brought up is the one that's going to be the first card, which is perfect. I'll put this sort of right in the middle. And then, so everybody knows, like normally you'd be sitting across from each other. So like Kevin's cards would be oriented the other way as my cards. But in Vorpal board, everything is oriented the same way. So the table is as if we're all sitting 3 bodies in one looking at the table from the same location, right? So our cards won't be oriented opposite. We'd have Kevin's cards at the top and my card. Actually, you know what? Since my camera is up top, we'll have my cards going across the top here, and Kevin, you can go across the bottom. All right. So the last one to have drank water, it gets to go first, right?
Yeah. I wonder who that was.
Oh, look at that! Oh, boo! That's good. That's a good little trick there. I like that. Sorry. So Kevin can go first.
All right. So I'm looking here. Heat's a bit dangerous. I'm going to start by taking this top card and adding this to my journey.
One thing I will.
You sure you don't want that one in your scrapbook?
Sure.
No, I did like an image for the Kickstarter, and I just randomized the cards, and I think that was the one that was in the scrapbook. And Kevin was like, "No, nobody's gonna put that in their scrapbook. It's 3 stars."
Right.
Yeah.
So one thing, Kevin. One thing that on my stream overlay, I have a little graphic down here in the bottom left. So we'll start our rows aligned with this card.
I'm seeing that now. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So we don't hide them behind, but that's fine. Okay. All right. So we won't do this on every turn, but I wanted to give people just sort of a look at this card so you can kind of get a feel for like what's happening gameplay wise. So Kevin put this card in his journey. It's 3 stars, which means it's 3 points if he keeps it in the journey, right? So he wants to keep it in that row. It's a water card, which means it's a water hazard. And so, he just has to worry about water hazards, obviously. But then the interesting thing is the scoring criteria is your other water cards do not earn points from stars and abilities, right? So now he's essentially committing to not use any other water cards. Well, not committing, but he got stuck with that. Now, as he's playing, he might be able to shuffle this back into the deck, depending on how he's going to move stuff in and out of his journey and scrapbook. So he's not stuck with this necessarily, but that's the implications of that card.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. Well,
Okay, so you're good.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm keeping this, and it's a flood, by the way. There's
Oh,
risk of flash floods happening in Death Valley.
I realized that as I was saying it. I was like, Death Valley doesn't necessarily have like a water problem normally, so flash floods is more accurate. That's good. Okay, so I'm going to actually take this Eureka Dunes, and I'm going to put it in my journey, and then I will draw the next card.
All right. Oh, this is a nice card to have. I'm going to take Dante's View. If we look at the ability, it gives me points for every card I have in my scrapbook. So I'm gonna move this over there soon and just start building up a scrapbook that's some safe points that can't get shuffled back into the deck.
Yeah, right, and that's actually a good note. Is if you bust and you get 3 of one of the type of hazards, the cards that are in your journey are going to be affected, but not the cards in your scrapbook. So if you can move them down into your scrapbook, they're safe from busting. So the quicker he can get that stuff locked in, the better. You know, I hate hearing when I'm playing against a designer, I hate hearing the words, "Oh, that's a really good card," come out of his mouth. It's like,
after
oh,
he's
man.
taking it.
You're right, of course, yeah. I like to hear it when I'm moving the card into my hand.
Yep.
Okay, so let me see. This one. So I'm going to stay away from this one because it's another sun card, right? So I don't want to start stacking up on those. There are 6 of them, though, so it's dangerous. And I got caught with one anyway. So the interesting thing, I got the Super Bloom plus 2 points for each Flash Flood in your Journey and Scrapbook. Okay. You're up, Kevin.
All right. So yeah, I know you can't really take this card, so I'm gonna be annoying by just keeping it there while I move Dante's View down to my scrapbook. So I'm resting. I move this down, and I can shuffle cards from my journey back into the deck or bury them. But I want to keep Badwater Basin. I think it's gonna be worth a lot of points for me in the end.
Cool. Yeah, that's a cool little position that you put me in there. I think that's good. I'm gonna press my luck. You know, I don't love either of those cards, so yes. All right, so +3 if this card has adjacent. So here's an adjacency cards. +3 if this card has adjacent cards on both its left and right. So that's one of those ones where I'd have to sort of wrangle getting it into the right position right at the end of the game, make sure that it's surrounded.
Yeah, I'm also going to take the card from the deck. And okay, Telescope Peak. So low wargs have 2 terrain, but this one's a pretty useful ability.
Yeah. Oh, so a couple of cards are like real wild cards. They can do interesting stuff. This one, he can actually look at the top card on the deck and add it face up to either player's journey, so he can screw with people. All right, so I am going to I'm going to press my luck. I know that this is I know this is a bad idea, but you know, I like seeing that. That works out. So I don't bust. And now this is +4 points for every 2 cards hidden underneath this card, which I'm getting a lot of cards that are kind of hidden card stuff here. So I might try to do something with those and make a little synergy off that. All right, you're up, Kevin.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take from the deck again, though I'm using Telescope Peak, so I can actually look at this card and then decide who to give it to. So it is a heat. Yeah, so with this mode of play, if I give this to you, we only check who busts at the end of their own turn.
Yep.
So I don't really want to give this to you because Devil's Hole, you can just bury it. Though in a variant way to play that we'll get into later, giving people cards can just immediately cause them to bust. So I'll actually be taking this.
All right. Thank you. The strategy worked out in my favor.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to... I'm going to move Devil's Hole into my scrapbook. I'm just a little bit nervous to draw again. How many? We have 4 of the 6 suns out. You know what? Nah, I'm doing it. I'm going to draw. Yes.
Ooh.
All right, so I pressed my luck significantly there, but I thought it was a decent chance because there's 9 cards in the deck and there was only 2 more suns, so I figured I'd give it a ride.
All right, and I'm going to go ahead and take Mesquite Flat Dunes. This one gives me points for all the stars I have in my journey, extra points, and I think I'm going to be able to build up a lot of stars here.
Okay, so I'm going to... Oh yeah, I got to look at what that card is. That's actually... All right, so I'm going to rest. I just got to think this through a little bit. So I am going to... I don't know if this is a good idea. I've never done this before, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to hide all of... I'm going to bury all of my cards underneath this Devil's Hole.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Which essentially means 8 points for me, guaranteed.
Yeah.
I don't know if it would have been more efficient to take the advantage of all those other abilities that they have, but I'm just going to try it and see how it works.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go ahead and take Scotty's Castle because this one has a useful ability in case I bust later, where Scotty's Castle can protect one of my adjacent cards. And now, another thing I'm going to do is Racetrack Playa lets me swap cards in my journey, and I want to have more options for Scotty's Castle. So I'm actually going to swap these. And that's my turn.
Awesome. See, this is funny because like in my playthroughs, nobody has nobody's ever used any of the Racetrack Playa or sort of the special abilities. So this is cool. It's sort of seeing people use those abilities. All right, so the Devil's Cornfield. All right, I don't care. It's 2 stars though. I'm going to take it.
Okay, this is a nice one for me. I'm definitely taking Furnace Creek. It is my 3rd heat, but it has a very powerful ability where you can actually ignore the heat on adjacent cards when checking if you bust. Now I'm going to use Racetrack Playa to do a nice swap.
So now you have 0. You have 1 heat.
Yeah, 1
I
heat.
have 1 heat.
The one on the Furnace Creek.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Now when I set up our camera positions here, I was like, yeah, we're probably not going to have anyone get 6 cards in a row, and immediately there we are. Boom. All right. Well. Okay. So So this is an adjacency one where you get bonus for each other types of hazard adjacent to the card. Which actually, how many cards are left in the deck? 4?
And it ends on the last one.
Yeah, so I'm going to get 1 more card. At least. Depending on what Kevin does, because he's going to start scrapbooking all this stuff in theory. So I'm going to... 1, 2, 3... Oh, no. There's still one of the... what's the actual name for this hazard, Kevin? It's not rock.
Terrain.
Terrain. So there's still 1 terrain in the deck.
Yeah.
Which, out of 4 cards, I might end up busting. All right, I'm gonna leave that one out there because you can't take it, and I'm gonna
not
draw.
yet.
Well, right, yeah, not yet. That's fair. You might burn some cards. All right, so didn't matter, did it? Okay, so -2 points for each sun in my journey. So right now that's giving me a -2, unfortunately. All right, you're up.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about how now you have 2 terrains, so you can't take Artist Palette either. And I'd like to have Artist Palette, so I'm going to rest. I'm going to move Telescope Peak down and put Scotty's Castle on top of it. And so now Telescope Peak is a hidden card in my scrapbook. And mainly I'm doing that so I can take that terrain card. That's going to be worth a lot of points if I can set it up.
Mm-hmm. All right, so I can't take it because it'll bust, unfortunately, so I have to take the top card. Well, unless I wanted to bust. Do people ever strategically bust?
I mean, you can, but I don't know if you'll win.
Yeah,
like especially late game.
That's true, right? You got to maximize your points per turn, really, right? So
yeah, I've seen some scenarios where it's most of your cards are in your scrapbook, and there's a card that's really important to the other player.
Yeah,
but you really have to get a good scrapbook board state up before you want to do something like that.
All right.
I'm sure I'm going to do that at some point, though. Whether I'm going to win or lose.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. So I got a snake, which is plus 1 point for each adjacent sun. All right.
Yep. And I'm going to take Artist Palette.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and you can swap cards, right? So
I can swap cards. Yeah. So I should be doing that right away. Let's swap. We can swap these two for now, just to get next to a heat and a flood.
Cool. Yeah, and adjacency counts unless it specifies that it's only in the journey or only in the scrapbook. It counts with all cards, so it'll go up and down as well. So this counts as an adjacency. And then one note I don't think I mentioned is when you do bury cards under, when you move stuff down to the scrapbook, they essentially become nothing. They don't get their scoring abilities. They don't count as stars. They don't count as anything. They just lose all their text. Now, there are scoring abilities that give you points for having buried cards, but they themselves won't score points.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Sorry, what were you saying, Kevin?
Yeah, you have the best example of like scoring with buried cards with Devil's Hole there.
Yeah, so I have 8 points sitting there, but I won't get any of the benefit, which is the interesting kind of decision point. Like, should I have actually tried to play those? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so this is interesting. So we get to this kind of end point where Kevin can force the end game on his turn if he chose, and I could force the end game on my turn. And I'm fairly certain that that's a animal card. And he has 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 plus a bunch. He's way ahead of me currently. Looks like. Yeah. Not way ahead, but ahead. All right. So I'm going to scrapbook. I don't like either of these options. I'm going to scrapbook the Devil's Cornfield. And the reason I'm doing that is because I have -2 points for each star or sun in my journey. And I want to get it out of my journey.
Yeah, so you're losing those stars, but it's still helping you.
Yeah. And then I'm going to...
And you gain a +1 for that as well from the snake.
Yeah.
Right. I got the +1 for this, right? So I'm gonna sit right here.
Okay. So it's me. And yeah, I'm pretty sure this last card is an animal, so I'm just gonna take it and hope it's good.
Yeah, I think it's the coyotes, maybe? Yeah.
Okay, the coyotes. So these aren't the best for me. The coyotes are hungry and you really want to get another animal next to them. But still a star, which is going to help out.
Cool. So essentially the game just ends right then, which I actually like. So kudos, Kevin, because what I do not like, this is a pet peeve of mine, is confusing end conditions where it ends, but then it's like every other player gets to take a turn. You know, where you have to sort of remember like, oh yeah, who triggered the end condition? We got to go around. I know that, there are reasons for that from a design perspective, but that always just... I don't like the feeling of that.
My least favorite one of those is where it calls back to like the starting player or the player who played second, and it's just like, that was 20 minutes ago. I have no idea who that was.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Everybody but the second player goes one more time.
Oh, right. Exactly right. So and that's like I don't know. I get why you have to do it because it's got to balance.
Just balance. Yeah.
Everybody gets the same number of turns or whatever. But that is something that bugs me. Okay.
I did realize one thing I should be doing at the end of my turn here. Racetrack Playa.
Oh yeah, turn
Do
those.
a nice swap here, and maximum points from Artist Palette.
Great. All right, so you want to score your cards, Kevin?
Yeah, sure. So it's all the stars in the journey and the abilities on all the visible cards. I like to go one card at a time. So Coyotes is just 1 point for me. Artist Palette, its ability is 2 points for each different hazard type that's adjacent. So it's going to be 6, bringing me to a total of 7. Then these ones are just stars. So 9, 10, 11, 12. And I'll count the last 3 stars, 13, 14, 15. But then Mesquite Flattoon's ability is 1 more point for every 2 stars in the journey. So it's looking like that is
another 7, right?
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 more.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was counting.
Yeah.
I counted your Artist Palette in that. Got it. Yep.
Yeah, and then oh man, I actually lost count.
So I think you were at 15, so that brings you up to 19.
Yeah. 19. Yeah.
Yeah, 19. Then Dante's View is just 2 points for 2 cards in Scrapbook, and Sky's Castle is nothing. So that's 21.
21. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start my journey. I have 5 points for the Devil's Golf Course. I have 2 more plus another for the Snakes, so that's 8 points. And then I have another 8 points, which is 16. So my scoring was much easier, 16 points. So was it 21 to 16?
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah, pretty respectable scores.
I'll take it. So it's interesting because the Devil's Hole is an interesting card, right? Because in order to really maximize it, you have to press your luck for a long time and get lucky. But I could have done a little trick where I put a couple under here, but then also kept this Eureka Dunes and tried to
that's a nice combo.
Try to do some more hiding. I think that might have been a better way for me to play, but it was worth a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Another big move was if you had just gotten the Coyotes at the end instead of me, you would have that would have been a pretty big swing because they'd be next to the Snake.
Yeah, that's true. Because if I would have just locked you right into your scores right then, and you wouldn't have been able to put that Coyote in the maximum position on the Artist Palette, right? Because that got you another 2 points. So,
so
that's interesting.
I'm not sure, but that might have changed the game.
Yeah, it might have. Cool. All right, no, that was good. That was a good round. So hopefully for folks in chat, if you have questions, if we went too fast, or if you have questions about how that played, probably the next time through, we're not gonna slow down for all you people at home. We're gonna
speed it up.
We're gonna scoff at you if you ask any questions. No, we wouldn't do that. But if you have any questions, definitely throw them out in chat. Or if you have questions about just questions for Jason or Kevin, or Nifty Swirlies. Okay, so I'm going to put these back in the deck. And what's interesting is none of us ever shuffled anything back into the deck. So I was going to ask you about that, Kevin. Is that common where people use it to extend the game, to get some stuff back in the deck? Or is it more common that they use it just to get cards that are screwing up their tableau out of the journey? In your experience?
I've seen people are more likely to want to bury cards to get them out of the game than shuffle them back in. But where I have seen some very mean uses of that shuffle is when there's a card that is relatively safe for you but dangerous for your opponent. Especially if your opponent has two of the 3 animals, then you just shuffle that 3rd animal back into the deck, so they have to worry about it.
So yeah, that's cool, especially if it's if it's a short stack towards the end, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and sometimes there's a good card that is just not in a good position for you, so you might want to shuffle it back in to try and get it later when it's going to be better for what your board looks like.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. All right, so Jason, are you going to step up and take on Kevin? Is that what we're having here?
I'm ready.
All right, good. This is.
I'm not feeling so confident after that last game, but I'm ready.
So Kevin, this is. I didn't. Jason and I talked about this before you came on earlier today, but this is for whatever the contract is. If you lose this one, you're out. You're out. You're
not.
You're playing for a contract on Death Valley. No, I'm kidding. All right. So Jason, the last time you were on, you hadn't messed around with any of the deck. I don't think we had deck functionality.
No.
So pretty much everything is just it's on the right click option. So if you need to draw a card, you right click on the deck and then you can see the draw and you would draw it to the table face up.
What about when you're on a Mac and you have no click?
Oh,
I see the little dots.
Yeah, the dots, exactly, when you select the
Got
deck.
it.
Yep. And then you would just draw to the table face up, and then that'll be the draw
nice
action. So
very cool.
And then so you can go ahead and draw first, and then you guys.
Are we shuffled? Do I need to shuffle?
You can shuffle again. Why not?
Okay.
And then it's only bits. It's just bits moving around in there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, hold on. Oh, I don't want to move the spot. Draw to table face up. So this is our starter.
Yeah. And then you guys are going to play this one normal, right? We're not going to do backseat driver yet.
All right.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah. We'll save that.
All right, cool.
We'll see who scores more, me or you, James, and the winner can play Kevin.
Well, I like the fact.
I'm assuming Kevin's gonna win again. Like, just it's already assumed.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because like you and I was like shaking my head every time he's like, "Well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna switch these two cards," and I'm like, "God damn!" You know. So yeah, that you can always tell when somebody has thought through like the right way to sort of play the game. I like playing it against designers. It's a cool way. I
got to witness that going into the second one, so I got some tips.
Yeah,
so watch out. One question before you start, Bub Bitterskins. Kevin, in your experience, what's like a par score? What should people be happy with?
All right, so I think if you got more than 10 points, that's like you should be happy about how you played. Getting 20 or above is like very good, and if you somehow get 30, you are like a master of the game. That is something I've like very, very rarely ever seen happen.
I noticed. I noticed that you said like, you know, get 20 and you had 21. So, you know, I mean, like, did you plan that out, or was it 22 before you came on?
He's secretly Bub Bittersmith or whatever his name is.
Right.
Yeah. 20 is a really good score. 20 or higher.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what's the lowest score you've ever seen achieved?
The lowest score I've ever gotten is 4 points.
16.
Yeah. Exactly. If you get 16, you should just quit. You should never play again. You're pathetic.
You scored 4 or you saw 4?
Yeah, I have scored 4 points before in this game. Things can get pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah, that's the press your luck side.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so have at it.
All right, drinking water.
Oh, there you go.
All right. I will not take the Natural Bridge Canyon, and I will take this one. Draw to table face up. Yeah. Is that in the right spot?
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the bottom, Kevin. Sorry, messing with you.
No, I mean you're below me in the pictures.
Yeah.
That works. And that Natural Bridge Canyon is tempting, but I think I want to try and get something else first. So let's see. Okay, Mosaic Canyon. Yeah, that's good. I'm happier with this.
Yeah, for folks in the chat, I'll as they're drawing the cards, since I'm not playing, I'll give you close-up views of the cards as they draw them. And one thing about Vorpal is they don't see this, so on their end they don't see me zooming in and stuff. So so we can enjoy the art on our end.
All right, I will take the Natural Bridge Canyon.
Yeah.
Then pop the new one out.
Okay, I might be able to do some fun things with Devil's Cornfield later.
Yeah, of course you can.
This one lets you swap cards around when you rest, and as we've seen the last game, swapping cards can be a pretty good time. Let's put this here.
You can always tell somebody who kind of like knows how a game's played when they say like, I might be able to use that later. You know, because like I'm always like making decisions based on like what's in front of me right now. But to think like, oh, maybe there's I need to think about it later. Eey.
All right, so I have a really tough decision here, right? So
Yeah.
if I take the Badwater Basin, I get 3 points for it, but my Natural Bridge Canyon, 6 points is killed. Oh no, but it is a good. It's 3 stars.
It's really nice with Mesquite Flat Tunes. Yeah,
I know,
true.
that's the problem. Oh, jeez. But there's no point in Natural Bridge Canyon down below. Well, it could get me. No, it can't. I can put it down below later.
Yeah, later. You could lock in 3 points in your scrapbook with it, or take the 3 star points now.
It's really difficult. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Badwater Basin.
All right.
The other part about this game that's really tricky is watching that card count dwindle down. It like this conveniently shows that there's 12 cards left in the deck, but that number is just it's a force. I don't like it.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Eureka Dunes. Because I will bury at least 2 cards.
I have to take this.
Yeah.
I have no choice. I'm just forced to, so I can mess with you.
Mm-hmm. So let's see. Oh, snakes! I like snakes. Let's just take those.
All right.
Got the scorpions in play.
Okay. I am going to hold on. So I get to look at this, and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Whoops. I got to do my clicky. I can add that anywhere. Yeah, sure. All right, I will take it.
All right. So you're starting to get in a dangerous position with 2 terrain, 2 floods.
Yeah, I'm hoping to change that next turn.
Yeah. I think I'll just take the scorpions and try to get some terrains later.
Agent Dave, welcome to the chat. I did get a haircut. I did. I did. I didn't cut my hair for over a year, so it was in like ponytail length.
Oh wow, that's where mine's at right now.
Yeah, it was.
It's
yes, that was
intense.
exactly my hair, and it was
actually
awful.
The back is like really ridiculous.
Yes,
like hockey hair.
Yeah, so I finally got it cut a couple months ago. So welcome, Dave. It's good to see you.
Okay. All right, I have to move something down. I have to rest. My Natural Bridge Canyon is kind of shot. I'm going to rest with Dante's View. And then I can shuffle Natural Bridge Canyon back in.
Yeah, so if you right-click on it and just say
and I will
send to deck, and you can choose top or bottom, it doesn't matter, and then we'll just do a shuffle once you put it back in the deck.
Okay.
So you right-click and shuffle. Perfect.
Shuffle. Cool. Yes, sir. I like the deck. It's pretty cool. Oh, and then these have to shift.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I already have Eureka Dunes, which gives me points for burying cards, and now I can take Devil's Hole, which gives me points for burying cards under it.
So we're gonna build
that combo.
You're gonna do the thing that I was hoping to do. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Man, if that was still there, I would have forced it to you if it was. Mm-hmm. But you are going to be able to use that, and I'm not. I don't like this position because you're going to move Devil's Hole, and then you're going to leave Scorpions there.
Yeah,
and you're going to take that Coyotes.
Yeah,
but you know what? I still have another turn before you do that, so I will look at this. And decide to keep it or give it to you.
Don't give him that one, man. He loves that card. Although this might be a position where he doesn't
well,
want it.
It's going to make him bust.
Yeah.
But I will. Yeah, I will bury it before, because in this mode of play, bust is end of your own turn.
So he'll have the opportunity to put it under Devil's Hole, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you give him another card to bury, he might be able to keep Eureka Dunes to get the double bonus for the buried cards.
All right. There you go.
All right.
We'll see what you do.
So it's me. I definitely want to bury a few cards, but the question is how many. So we'll bury this and this. So that's 2. Do I want to go for burying 4 cards underneath Devil's Hole? Well, yeah, we'll bury. It won't be. It's kind of sad because it's both of the animals, but I like having the 8 points from Devil's Hole while I have Eureka Dunes.
Yep.
Interesting.
So this coyote is kind of worthless for both of us now. It's just 1 star.
So Kevin, I'm actually I'm going to move your cards down a little bit so they're on our view.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So let's see. If I bust, my Dante's View safe. Oh, I got 2 chances to bust. Well, I'm going to look at it, and I can just give it to you.
Yeah.
I'm in a nice, safe position. Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
All right, and I got a little more safety for busting as well.
I'll go ahead and take the top card. All right, I've got Furnace Creek again, so heat are safer.
Oh no, you got it right in the middle too.
I love Scotty's Castle flavor text. I'm going to put it up on screen real quick. I think it's very funny. It's just like the gold prospecting con artist Walter Scott called this home in the 1940s after swindling but ultimately befriending the millionaire who built it. It was damaged by a massive flood in 2015. I like the comedic timing of it is very good.
This is one where it's like, are we going to get in trouble for calling this guy a con artist? But right. Kevin's done the research. It's a fact. It's not an opinion.
Yeah, but yeah, they used to do tours of Scotty's Castle all the time until that flood just ruined it. They're doing repairs right now, and hopefully it'll open up again soon.
Cool.
All right, I'm looking at the card because I can do it. And I can't take it.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm giving it to you.
Thank you.
I have no choice.
Let's take the coyotes. So we
yeah, now they're
type
worth
of hazard next to it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't like this.
Yeah, that was unlucky right there.
Yeah, I mean, I had to do it, but
yeah.
Plus 3 points if this has an adjacent cards on its left and right. There's 2 in the deck. Ugh.
And it would be your 3rd flood as well.
Oh yeah, so it's yours. No, I'm not taking it. I'm looking at this one. Draw the table face up. Oh no! All right.
So this is the first time we've busted, so we can talk about how that works.
Well, I didn't take it, right?
Oh, that's true. You can give it to
one of us is gonna bust.
Yeah.
I guess no, because you technically it forces you to.
Yeah. Now the interesting thing is you do have Scotty's Castle there, right? So you could save it, and it's got 5 stars on it.
When you bust, you may select an adjacent card in your journey. Prevent that card from being shuffled in the deck. So if I put it there, right, and then I bust, and I can protect that.
This would be the card that's removed from the game because it's the rightmost terrain. But
so I can't even prevent it. Oh, prevent from being shuffled in the deck.
Yeah, it prevents from being shuffled into the deck. You can use Racetrack Playa to swap the terrain around.
There you go. And then the telescope.
So timing is the bust happens last, right?
Yeah, the bust happens last, and then the rightmost terrain will get shuffled into the deck, whatever that is.
Yeah, that's cool. I do want to save it, so I'm gonna switch it with.
Yeah, but it has to be next to Scotty's Castle too. Is the tricky part.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So you're.
Oh,
stuck,
hold on.
Right?
Maybe.
So it's still the rightmost if I switch these, right?
Yeah.
So that doesn't help me.
That doesn't help. Yeah. I think if you take it, it's going to get removed from the game.
Well, I don't want you to have it, so I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Because you'll, yeah. All right, so it's out of the game.
Jason, you can just drag that over here and just double click on it. It'll flip it over. That'll be our little discard. There we go.
Okay, cool.
And now my telescope peak gets shuffled. Oh yeah, I just right-click, return to deck.
Yeah, that everything in the journey except for one thing next to Scotty's castle.
Yeah, it's not just it's all cards, and your whole journey gets wasted. So, and you can multi-select too. So do you want to keep this Racetrack Playa? I guess Jason is a question.
I swap 2.
Yeah, because Scotty's castle could keep it from going in, right? If you want.
I'd rather swap.
Yeah.
I'd rather keep the Mesquite Dunes.
Yeah, you can use Racetrack Playa before the bust to like impact what's next to Scotty's castle. Yeah.
There we go, and then we can shuffle the deck.
Yeah, Scotty's castle will go into.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This guy over here. All right, so that's our first bust. Congratulations, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't want to give Kevin 5 points and then have one more turn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I would have been out. That was desperate.
So I'm going to.
Oh, did we shuffle? Anybody shuffle?
Yeah, we shuffled.
Okay.
I think I'll take Natural Bridge Canyon.
Oh, I'm so far behind. Okay. Draw. Table face up. Okay. Oh, we got Scotty's castle back. I can't look at cards anymore, but I will take the chance. Okay.
So Jason, did you have a card right here?
I just put Racetrack Playa there.
Yeah. Did you draw it into your hand maybe, or draw it face down?
I drew it. Let's see.
Because I'm actually not seeing it over here. Which is
the stream is delayed a bit or something.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Racetrack Playa either. But you took Racetrack Playa, is what you're saying?
I can see Racetrack Playa. It's
Okay.
It's right here. It's right on top of the deck right now.
All right. So why don't you just leave it right there? I'm going to do something real quick to just bring the cards back in. So just hold on one sec.
Okay.
You guys just you do some. I don't know. Do some comedy routine.
I'm gonna try to do some voodoo.
To get yourself back into the game.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we aren't seeing too many busts in the main game because the main game is a lot more focused on like building a good tableau and managing the risk.
Yeah.
When you add the backseat driver, which we'll do in a bit, it becomes much more dangerous with players intentionally causing each other to bust.
Yeah, because it happens at a different time, right? So that's cool. All right, so you guys should be you should have the cards back in.
Yep.
And there's your Racetrack Playa. Kevin, you all good?
Yeah, I'm good. So I believe it's my turn now. I will go ahead.
James, next time you do that, just throw a couple more cards my way.
I will. Yep. You got it.
I'm going to move this down here. Yeah, this is good. And that's all I'm doing.
Okay. I will. I'm not gonna bust with these last 3 cards, so I'm taking whatever's here. Oh, I'm gonna bust anyway.
Congrats.
Oh man. So you could Racetrack Playa to move some stuff, right? If you wanted.
Yeah, it's not gonna help me. It's all going. So this one's out.
Oh yeah, so you can just double click on
that. So I'm just gonna flip that.
Yeah.
Put it right there. And these are getting shuffled in.
Yeah. You can actually do that in one step if you want.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now.
All right, cool.
Turn to deck and then shuffle. Oh my god.
That's a lot of heat in the deck.
So we did talk about Kevin scoring only 4 points, and Jason currently only has one.
Oh, I'm gonna beat that record.
I'm going to rest with Artist Palette. So secure Natural Bridge Canyon. It gets points for being between things. So that's now set up.
I am so bad at pressing your luck games because I only press my luck. Like there's no other option, you know.
That was perfect. I'm just going to clip it when you
so
say,
bad.
There's no way I'm going to bust drawing this card, and then immediately bust.
Yeah.
All right, it's my turn.
Yes.
I will take this. Oh, fun. I get to have fun on one more turn.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2.
I need another heat card to get next to Artist Palette, so let's just dig for it. Okay. This might work. Mesquite Flat.
No, because you bust.
No,
I have Furnace Creek.
He's got Furnace
Oh,
Creek.
Furnace Creek I have one less heat because of Furnace Creek.
Yeah. That whole time
right.
he's just been sitting there loving that heat, just sitting in the
I know.
sauna, soaking it up.
Basking.
Yeah.
Okay. So I could bust here because there's one more of these, but I think what was it one of the ones that we got rid of?
I believe.
Was it terrain?
I believe the first bust was terrain.
Was terrain, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So I will draw. Yay.
All right. That's good.
I'm at 4 points.
Okay, and now this is
5.
the
I'm at
last
5,
turn.
actually.
So I think this top card is a heat, so that'd be not good if I took that. So I will just. Oh yeah, we'll rest. Just set this up.
Of course.
And yeah, you can go ahead and take what is probably the last turn, Jason.
Yeah, I'm not gonna rest. But you might be fooling me by saying that you think it's a heat. But I know it has to be.
Yeah.
So what are the official rules, Kevin, on can other people look at your hidden cards? Can they request a look, or is it intended that they are not allowed to?
It's intended that you're not allowed. So like trying to keep track of what's going on with card distributions is useful.
Yep.
But you need to kind of just keep it in your mind and like eyeball what you think is happening.
Or try to do what I'm doing, which is like peeking at the little sliver I can see.
Right, yeah, exactly. I mean, in this platform, actually, Jason, if you held the space bar on your keyboard and then put your mouse right over that little tiny edge, you'd see a close up.
Oh yeah.
So you could get a little bit of a cheat there by seeing the cards underneath the pile.
Oh, or you can click on it by accident.
Oh yeah. All right. So Jason, count them up.
5, right? So Telescope Peak's nothing. It's 1. Badwater Basin is 3. Racetrack Playa is 1. And then I get one more for Dante's View. So I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points.
Yep.
All right, count them up, Kevin.
Yeah, so I've got 5 stars in my journey, and that is going to be 2 more points from Mesquite Flat Dunes, so that's 7. Devil's Hole is 8 more for 15. 3 more from Natural Bridge Canyon, 18. The Coyote isn't worth anything, but Artist Palette is another 6 points for, again, getting that perfect setup of all the hazard types adjacent for 24.
24.
So I really should have just given Kevin those extra 5 just so I had a decent score and didn't end up at playing the long game of personal scores.
Yeah, if you did that, I probably would have buried it, which would have been okay, but not great for me.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So man,
good game.
Gosh, we really have showed up very strongly, Jason, in our 2 plays.
We add it together, we're still below his best one.
Oh right. All right. So I'm gonna return all these to the deck. We'll shuffle this guy. All right. So this last one we're gonna play. We're gonna play the variant, right, Kevin? Let's do a backseat driver. So you wanna explain how that works?
Yeah, so there are 2 rules changes with Backseat Driver. One is this face-up card, you can add it to either player's journey. So you could take it, or if it's too dangerous or might bust your opponent, you can give it to them. Then at the end of each turn, you check if any player busts, meaning if you give someone the 3rd animal, they will then bust right then and there.
And that is you can only do that with the face-up card. Can you do it with the top card off the deck as well?
You cannot unless you have Telescope Peak. In this case, you could use Telescope Peak to look at that card give it to the opponent and make them bust immediately.
Got it. Okay. All right. Got it. So you can only use that base ability with the face up card. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So your actions are deal the face up card to anyone, top card to yourself, or rest.
Cool. And then Jason, do you want it, or do you want me to take it?
How about we team up and do it together?
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. We can strategize. All right, so we're gonna do 2 brains versus
down.
1 brain.
All right.
And there's a note in the chat for anybody who is watching this and wants to back tonight. There are 37 minutes until Kickstarter goes down for 2 hours. So if you want to back tonight, get there. Hit it up on Kickstarter. Okay. So I think we shuffled before this, right, Kevin? So I think we should just be able to play.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Look at that.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, you go first.
All right. So do we? I don't necessarily love this Scorpions card right out of the gate, right? Like, we could give it to him.
So each adjacent terrain. Yeah, let's give it to him.
The only thing is that there's only 3, so it's going to be hard to force him to bust with animals.
Yeah, the good thing about it is it's not going to help that. What is the other one? It's not coyotes. It's not scorpions. What's the third one?
Snakes.
The snakes that look for adjacency, right?
Yeah.
Because it's early on, but he's going to be shifting everything around, right?
Yeah,
Imagine
I feel like giving him anything is just playing into some sort of long strategy,
True.
right?
And then the other one is just anything. It's not gonna hurt us in any way.
Well, let's take one off the top then, right? Like,
sure.
Maybe we get lucky and we get one of these, power cards. Mesquite Flat Dunes has come out early.
It's like the starter every time.
That is a nice one to have. And yeah, I'm also going to take this top card. I'd like to see some terrain before taking the Scorpion. All right, Super Bloom.
So that card I don't think has scored for anybody yet, has it?
Yeah, it hasn't really come up, but it can be quite useful. You just get 2 other floods and you get 4 points.
Cool.
All right, so what do we want to do? I think we should still go off the top. Because we don't. If we pulled a terrain, we would have, went for it. But
yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, that's a good card. I mean, I don't love that now he's in a position where he can bust us immediately.
Yeah.
He's grinning over there.
If we don't take that Scorpions, then we're in a safe position.
Oh, that's
for a
right.
while.
That's right. He can only bust us if it's a top card. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I'm also taking this. I'm kind of expecting it to be another heat. Okay, good. Not heat. And now you are in trouble. Because I will use Telescope Peak to bust you if I can.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So
we're in a weird spot because if we take the Scorpions, then he has the advantage to bust. Well, he can bust us on anything now. So
yeah. I mean, 3 heats are already out though, right? So
that's
true. Yeah.
I think we should take one off the top.
I think we have to. The Scorpions is going to help us yet.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice. But we got -4.
Yeah.
We can work on that.
Got to start work on that.
Yeah.
All right, Kevin. You gonna give us a heat here? I know it's coming.
Yeah.
Why don't you give us the heat and bust us and work on it for us?
We're gonna look for some heat. Okay, it's the snakes. I'll go ahead and take these.
Oh no. All right. So we're in a spot where we can take the Scorpions and get some points off of it and prevent him from some points on that snake. Oh no, snakes isn't the one with the adjacent animal.
Yeah, it's adjacent.
It's adjacent heat.
The coyote is the animal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, coyotes will eat snakes and scorpions.
Yeah. So that Mesquite Flat Dunes is nice, right? But we got to get rid of that other heat if we can.
Yes.
And
yeah,
that would require us resting, and we don't want to rest with either Mesquite Flat Dunes or Devil's Golf Course, right?
Yeah, you're in a tricky spot where a lot of the cards in your journey have stars. You
Yeah.
prefer
But if we-
to keep in the journey.
If we rest with Mesquite Flat Dunes, we save that ability,
Correct.
Yes,
which is great for Devil's Golf Course.
it is.
Yeah, we
If we
sacrificed
can
the two.
manage to
Yeah,
hold that.
we sacrificed the 2 stars, but who cares, right? Like it puts us in a better position. I think that's not a bad idea.
Okay. Yeah, because we gain that back with Devil's Golf Course alone.
Yeah. And also we benefit for the -2, losing the -2 points for getting that heat out of there.
Yep.
Right. So okay, all right. So we're gonna rest. We're gonna put this guy in our scrapbook and move these guys over. All right, I feel good.
'Cause nothing is safe. Nothing is safe in this mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now Mesquite Flat Dunes are safe, but
Yeah. I'm going to keep digging through the top cards. Scotty's Castle. Okay, this is fine. I'll take Scotty's Castle for some extra protection.
I like this part of the game, Kevin, especially when I feel like, man, we're doing okay. I like that part. I like feeling I feel like things are going all right, and maybe that thematically is nice too, right? Because like you're out there, you're in Death Valley, you're having a great time. You think nothing bad could happen to me in Death Valley.
Of course not.
But then then the problems start mounting. I like that.
I think we just have a new mode too, which is going to be buddy mode, because if we go down, we're going down together. It feels better than I don't feel alone in Death Valley.
It'll be two sun bleached skeletons along the side of some path in Death Valley instead of one. Okay. All right. So let's think about what we want to do here.
All right. If we take Scorpions, we're getting a couple points for that, but it's not a ton. 2 points is good, but
I mean, we also could put Scorpions up next to his Scotty's Castle and put him in a position where he could bust. But it's rare. I mean, there's still 10 cards in the deck, right? So it's a low probability.
yeah. So giving him some.
He also has Telescope Peak, so never mind, right? He's going to be able to look at the top card.
We would just basically that the animal would have to come out, and then we'd have to force it to. It would have to come out now.
Yeah.
It would have to be the face up, because otherwise he's going to see it and prevent it.
Yeah. So I also like.
And he's going to give it to us, and it's going to require another animal, which is never going to happen.
I'd love to give you guys coyotes.
Right.
Yeah.
I also Jason, like to hear you say like the animal has to come out. Like I just that sounds like a threat. If we lose this game, the animal's coming out, and I'm coming after you. Okay. All right. So I think top card, right? I mean.
Let's do it.
I just don't.
Oof.
And that's a bust for us.
Yeah. So,
Yes.
all right. So we're gonna.
That's not so bad.
We could switch. I think we want to keep the racetrack playa, right?
We
we
can't
keep anything. Never mind. So
all we can do is, can we swap before?
Yeah.
So racetrack playa, we can decide what's getting removed from the game.
yes.
Exactly, because at the end of the turn, the rightmost card of that hazard type gets removed.
So my vote is to get rid of racetrack playa so that he can't get his grubby mitts on it.
That's good. Yeah, any of those ability cards, we went away from him.
All right.
And there's not a lot. And then Eureka Tunes is getting shuffled in.
Yeah. So those go right.
Both of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. You're up, Kevin.
All right, so I'm still in this pretty safe space of just having one of each hazard type. So I'll keep looking at top face-up card. Okay, Furnace Creek. This is usually. I really don't want you to have this because it's already perfect there next to Mesquite Flat Dunes. So I'm gonna take it and hope I can get some other heats adjacent to it.
Okay.
I guess we got to go deck.
Yeah, I mean, this is the worst. We've just
At
been
this
doing this
point,
the whole time. It's just we're at the mercy of Death Valley here. All right, so okay,
All right,
artist palette. Yeah, I mean
it's already 2 points.
that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Kevin.
All right. Now that things are a little bit more dangerous, I might want to rest, but because Scorpions is the face-up card, I'm willing to just keep drawing for maybe one more turn. Okay, Mosaic Canyon, this is good to see, because this is the kind of card you can build around to try and get a lot of points. So expect me to start trying to get all sorts of different hazard types in my scrapbook soon.
Okay.
So we could take the scorpions because we already have
that's a nice
terrain
combo,
there.
right?
Yeah, Artist Pilot Scorpions is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, I like
Yeah, because it's
that.
gonna get us 4.
Yeah, it gives us 4 points, right? So.
And then if we could get those coyotes next to the scorpions, it's even better. Or coyote or another terrain.
Right. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, another terrain. Yeah, I like that. I like that potential, right? So we'll do that.
Our star count is weak, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, there's the coyote, and part of me wants to just take it so you can't have it, but I mean, there might be another flood or heat here, and then I'm going to be in trouble. So you can have the coyote. I'm just going to rest. We're going to bury some things. Okay. Let's bury Scotty's castle and move Super Bloom down here. I think this is what I want to do. Yep, that's it for me.
Cool. All right, so we definitely want to take that coyotes, right?
Yeah, it's 3 points plus the star.
Yeah.
It can't bust unless those snakes, and no, the snakes could never come back. Or yeah, they could come back if he busts.
Mm-hmm. There's another way they could come back. I'm going to go ahead and rest again. Let's
shuffle them right back in.
Yeah, let's get Mosaic Canyon here, bury Telescope Peak, and shuffle the snakes.
All right, I don't like the way you play.
So then you can
maybe if you were my buddy, I would. But you're not my buddy this game.
And now Furnace Creek is next to Super Bloom. That was the main goal of this turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not cool.
We're in a good spot, point wise, but and out of those 7 cards, one of them is the animal.
Yeah.
So do we? And the problem is he could force it on us.
Right. I mean, right now he still has.
Oh no, you can't.
He can't force it on us anymore.
Yeah, I got rid of Telescope Peak because
I think that was just a mercy, a little.
I usually bury Telescope Peak after a few turns because I want to try and get some of those other terrain with more lucrative point scoring abilities.
Okay.
He did his damage.
So the interesting thing is if we take Natural Bridge Canyon, right? The problem is that the snakes could come up into the face-up card and then he could put them on us.
Yeah, but it's just one card. Do it.
Yeah, but the thing is that if this card is the snakes, then why don't we just take the top card? There's no benefit.
Yeah, because we're gonna get it either way.
Correct. Right.
Yeah. Let's take.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on, snakes.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Okay.
Oh, nice. We don't have any other blue.
All right.
Oh yeah, that's a perfect time to draw that.
Now I'm looking. I remember that I buried Scotty's castle earlier, so that was a flood. So these are all the flood cards are accounted for. This is the last one. So I'm pretty safe if I take this, so I will.
Come on, snakes.
Nope.
Luabob, welcome. Yeah, we're still going. We're on game 3, and Kevin has thrashed us in the first 2 games. So Jason and I are combining our brains to try to take down his brain.
The snakes are gonna kill us. This is the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
They're
because
coming.
we can't.
Yeah.
We can't bury the scorpions and coyotes because that's all we got, right? Like,
So, yeah, because it's plus. I mean, that's the coyotes are scoring 4, right? And the scorpions are an effective 4. Well, if we buried the scorpions, the coyotes slid over, we'd still get the artist palette benefit for coyotes.
So
right?
the coyotes would go from 4 to 3.
Yeah, not
right.
good.
But we it only goes down by 1, but we lose the extra 2 from the scorpion. Oh, it's so tough.
Yeah.
And then what are we going to bury it under? Like, we're not going to bury under Badwater Basin.
Yeah, we got to keep Badwater Basin up, right? So. And if we put Artist Palette, like we can move Artist Palette down, right, and bury Scorpions. Coyotes moves all the way to the left, and Badwater Basin is now above Artist Palette, which now Badwater Basin is next to 2 things still. Or excuse me, Artist Palette would be worth next to 2 things in the scrapbook.
So what would it be? Bury what under?
So like if we did this, right, and we did this.
Yep.
and then we moved these. This guy is still getting the benefit of 2.
Okay. I'm good with that.
He went to 1, right? But who cares because we're defending ourselves against the snakes.
And we're not at risk on anything we take.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, sure. I'm good.
Do it.
All right. That's pretty good. I'm going to try to get those snakes now. But like first, Dante's view. This is just really good for my setup. It's got the scrapbook synergy that I'm already trying to do with Mosaic Canyon. So like I have to take that and hope this isn't the snake. Okay, good. I can still get the snakes from you later.
All right. So we only have 1 hidden, right? So that would be worth 2 points.
Yep. The star and
all waters are out, right? So we don't have to worry about drawing a water that we can't use. So that's good. And I think we should go top card, man. Right?
Let's do it. Yeah.
Oh wait. Oh no, he's got Furnace Creek. He got Furnace Creek adjacent. So we
can't bust him.
We can't bust him on heat. Okay.
I don't think we can bust them on anything. Is there a water flood anywhere?
All the floods are.
I'm safe for now.
Yeah. All right, let's go top card, right?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I gotta do it. Here you go.
And now he can bust us.
Oh well, let me read the card first. Hold on.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. We're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go for it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, that was a bust.
All right, so we can't move anything. So this guy goes into the garbage, and these 3 go back to the deck.
All that work.
Yep. And I'll shuffle, and now we are finito.
It's our turn at least.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep.
So let's see.
Oh yeah.
Let's draw 1.
Are you drawing 1?
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's going to be 2 stars in our journey,
which would get us another star with Mesquite Flat Dunes, but it would put us in position where we could be busted.
It could. Do you remember the face down beneath the? It's the
animal. It's the coyotes and the
5-star one. Oh no, it was the one that Kevin was going to use against us.
It's the
yeah.
It's a flood card. It's the 4th flood card. Can't remember what it is.
Should we go top deck?
I think so.
Then he's gonna get. Yeah.
We've just been at the absolute mercy of the top of the deck the whole game, but I just don't think there's a better.
Let's do it then.
Better option, right? Like we could. If we gave it to him, right, we'd be putting him in a 1 away from busting.
Yeah.
But then he can get out of it because he could rest on his turn and bury some stuff and do whatever he wants, right? So I don't think it's gonna help us. You know, he's probably gonna rest this Dante.
Yeah, I have a hard time doing the pre-bust. Like I love to give it if I know it's gonna be a bust. But
I think it's a waste of our turn because it
depends who I'm playing against. Playing against Kevin, I feel like he'll do something good with it. Play against me, you could set me up and I'm going to screw it up.
Yeah, so Subcom Freak in the chat says, so if you give it to him, then he will bust. No, he won't bust currently because...
his one ability.
He has this one ability on Furnace Creek where you can ignore the heat on cards adjacent to this card. So essentially he has 1 heat currently. So we'd have to get him this one, which is beneficial for him because it's worth 2 points. And then he'd have to get another one, which I just don't see us getting that together is my guess.
So in that case, do we want him taking it next turn? Do we think he'll take it next turn? Yeah, I don't think he'll take that. I think he'll go for the top.
Yeah, I guess it probably will depend on what we draw if we draw from the top.
Yeah, we don't need to bust again, so why don't we go for the top deck?
Good point.
Busting again
then, we'd have a second then, and he could bust us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're more vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, that's not going to be super helpful at this point
Nope.
in the game. All right.
All right. So I'm going to rest, just move Dante's view down and secure some more points.
Yeah. Okay. I think we go top deck again.
I'm okay with that. Yeah.
All right. Hey.
Oh, there's the snakes. 2 points.
Yeah,
All right.
we're not adjacent to any suns or heats.
Oh, wow, so there are only 3 cards left, so we're starting to run out of time. I'm really scared of this Devil's Cornfield card because I think there's more heat in the deck. So I'm just going to give this to you and make you deal with it. And
Okay.
that's one of the
Hopefully
moves
the-
I enjoy. That's one of the
Hopefully
moves
the
I
heat
enjoy
comes out
this
now.
mode.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. It's the Coyote. Yeah, and I like being able to give a card I think is dangerous just to the other player to kind of mitigate my risks for the rest of the game.
So, all right. If we bury the Devil's Cornfield under Devil's Hole,
No
we're
points.
safe.
Yeah.
We're safe from busting,
Yeah.
but we're losing all those points.
Yeah.
And that we would lose anyway if we bust, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't gain us anything except for some protection. The snakes would still be adjacent to the Mesquite Flat Dunes and give us an
Correct.
extra point.
Yep. The
But
nasty thing is we don't get the benefit of the artist's palette because we'd be putting Devil's Hole next to it, but there's nothing we can do about that.
So we do that, or we take the top of the deck and hope it's not, it's what, 50-50?
Yeah.
Because he can't give it to us.
Yeah, I think there's... is it
Okay, so
50-50?
here's two options. Here's two interesting options. If we take the Coyotes, it's 50-50 that something comes out that's going to bust us and he's just going to kill us on the end.
I think those are both heat, Jason.
Is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, there's nothing under?
No, and this was a flood and a landscape.
Oh.
So I think they're both
We have to
heat,
then.
right? Am I right about that? Like, am I remembering
There are
that
6
correctly?
and
Maybe.
I see 4.
Oh no, heat.
I don't-
We busted with heat. We busted with heat for sure.
So one of them's out.
One of them's got to be a heat. Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So think about this. So if we take Coyotes and a heat comes out, he's going to give it to us and we bust.
Yep.
If we take the top one and it's heat, I don't know.
But
Do
I
we
think-
want to?
Well, let's take just a quick gander at like how much is he up on us? He's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. He's got like 12 right now, I think.
And we're at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I believe.
We got to press our luck, right?
All right. Let's take that
Yes!
top one.
I love it.
I'm for it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I was worried about that card. Thank you for taking it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was a big
Oh, yeah,
risk
it
for
would've hurt you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. All
Okay.
right, and okay, so I think no matter what this card is, it's safe for me to take it. So I'll just take it. Let's see. This will end the game.
So there's 2
That-
heat.
great.
He picks up 5 stars at the end. It's only worth 3 points, but you know.
Yeah, I think it's 3.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
might get us really close to tying.
All right. So
but
let's-
that gave him plus 3 points on the Natural Bridge Canyon too, though.
It did, yes. So let's
yeah.
see. I can
Oh,
go ahead and
no.
count mine. So I have 7 from Stars. We've got 3 from Natural Bridge Canyon. And then we lose 2 from Devil's Golf Course.
So
So that brings us
8.
to 8.
Yep.
Then Super Bloom, I have 2 floods, so that's 4 more points, 12. Mosaic Canyon is 1 point for each hazard type in my scrapbook. That's 3 more, 15. And Dante's View, every card in the scrapbook is a point, so that brings us to 18.
18.
We were close.
Yeah. All right. So we have 2, 4, 7 in stars. We don't get anything for Devil's Hole. We have an adjacent here, so that's 8. We get nothing for Cornfield. We don't get anything else. So we got 8 in the journey. And then down in Mesquite Flat Dunes, we have 2, 4, 6. We get 3 more, so we're at 11. And then we get 2 points, 2, 4. We're at 15.
Nice. Yeah, and this
close.
game I was terrified of getting Badwater Basin and losing stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was close.
Man. All right, that was good.
Yeah.
I prefer, Kevin, I prefer Backseat Driver.
Okay, cool.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
I like that rule set. I like that it makes the opportunity for being more offensive while you're playing. I think that's very cool.
That's the kind of stuff that I love to play too, but that's why I had to get rid of Netrunner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I love, like, me and my brother would go at it at this mode, like just at it.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun.
And I also like, everyone who's probably watching could quickly understand that as you know the various little wrinkles of a lot of these cards, you can be thinking about ways to build clever tableaus later in the game, which obviously Kevin had on strong display while we were playing. But I think that what excites me about this game most is that this is an 18-card game that has a ton of depth, right? Like, Jason, I'm not like talking down about any of the other games you've published, but there are ones that are the decision making in it is basic, right? It's a pretty quick game. It's fairly straightforward. This game is never, I've played it 5 times and I've sort of seen everything. Really good depth of decision making and strategy in this game. I think it is really well done. So Kevin, congratulations. It's a really cool game. I like it a lot.
What I like about this a lot is, so we're doing an expansion and it's 6 cards, and even just a single card changes this up, so much. Like, the impact of every card is huge. And that's what I love about some 18-card games, where every single card is, pulling its weight and more. So the opportunities to expand on this it's going to be a lot of fun in just how it's going to change up everything that you've worked towards.
Yeah, the idea there is you still play with an 18-card deck, but you can get some new animals and new terrains and mix up which ones you're playing with in the game to create some like new interesting scoring synergies.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I think I'm bad at it, but one of the things I like to do is look through a set of cards and think like, oh, here are ones that like could do interesting things together. And then trying to sort of say, okay, I'm going to try that strategy one round. I'm going to try the strategy where I just try to like bury as many cards as I can and see if I can win with like the berry strategy, right?
Yeah, and if you like the berry strategy, you're going to enjoy the Handmade City expansion. It has some cool synergies with that.
So yeah, I think it's very cool. It hits a lot of the right notes for me in a small, quick game, which is interesting decisions. It's quick enough that if you screw something up, who cares? Which I think is important for me personally. Learning a game like this, the time to fail has to be fast, or else I'm like, I don't want to play this game for 2 hours when I know I'm losing at minute 12. You know what I mean? Like this, if I know I'm losing, who cares? I learned some stuff. I keep playing it a bunch of rounds. So I think that this is a really good package for a complicated game that takes a bunch of plays to learn, but it only takes 15-20 minutes. So it's a good play space. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Another nice thing is that even if you bust, you're still able to recover. And like both of you guys busted twice, but you still got 15 points, which was really close. Yeah.
So very cool. So overall, I love it. It's button shy. Guys, go back it. Everybody in chat, you have a lot of people who here I think have already backed it, Kevin. So I think that we're preaching to the choir with a lot of the folks.
It's all right. Kickstarter's going down anyway.
Yeah, that's right. We just got a warning, actually.
Really?
Yes, from Serena Diaz. 10 minutes until maintenance starts.
Oh no!
So we went right.
I just want to know what happens. Like, is it just going to be blank? Are they going to put up a little screensaver or like a little a fun picture of the team?
I'm actually curious because 2 hours of downtime is fairly significant as far as these things go.
I don't think I've ever seen that, on Kickstarter intentionally in
the
10 years I've been kickstarting stuff.
Yeah, so I'm kind of surprised that they didn't say anything about it, because it seems extremely out of the ordinary. But you know.
What if it comes back up and it's all rebranded and like it's owned by Asmodee or something?
Oh no, like the rumor of Microsoft buying Discord was wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
It was actually them buying Kickstarter. Yeah, that'd be very funny.
Oh my god.
So okay, cool. So I'll let everybody know in the chat if you have any other kind of like last second questions about anything, you know, about all of our lives or other stuff that Button Shy's got going on or other things Kevin's got going on. Just throw them in there. Is there anything else you guys wanted to make sure we chatted about or plugged today?
I don't think so. Check out the Kickstarter, you know, check out Button Shy Games, look for more stuff from Kevin. He's submitted some other games in our contest. I think were you a finalist in like all of them?
Not all of them, but I was a finalist in the identical, not the identical card, sorry, the playing without a table in hand. Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's
I'm
cool.
still working on that game, actually.
And this one's especially cool. I don't think we mentioned this. I think Kevin and I were talking about it before we started, but this one was part of the campaign or the contest for Make a Game about a specific location, which obviously in this case is Death Valley. And there were 3 finalists in that all have now been published via Button Shy. We did one on the stream here. We did Skulls of Sedlec from Dustin, which is
a year ago tomorrow.
A year ago tomorrow. Jason pointed out, which I actually think, Jason, of all the Button Shy games I have in the house, absolute number one
so good
in plays is Skulls of Sedlec. My kids love it. My wife and I play it after we have like coffee on Sunday morning. It is super, super good. I really, really, really like that game. And you can get all 3 of those games actually in a bundle,
like a little bundle,
as part of this campaign. So if you wanted to get all the location specific games, you can.
It was a strong contest where we were super restrictive before that with identical cards and can't use a table, and then we opened it up, but just made it all theme, and it was really strong. The entries were strong, and as you can see, the finalists were incredible.
Yeah, very cool.
Button Shy has a great design community on their Discord server. And like a neat thing is during the design for this contest, everyone was sharing their ideas. I actually tested Skulls of Sedlec with Dustin, and Dustin tested Death Valley. So I personally, as a designer, really like seeing that bundle with all 3 of those games that are being worked out time together.
And then it's a perfect opportunity to buy the Button Shy bag. Right?
The bag's awesome.
If you're going to start a collection of Button Shy stuff, there's also a bag. It's made for fitting all the wallets to be able to carry a bunch of them around with you, which is cool. And then it has like a neat kind of button concept along the strap where you can
snap them on.
You can snap on buttons for all the different games with little art on them. So it's cool. If you haven't checked that one out, check it out too.
Always cool stuff.
Always psyched up to see some Button Shy stuff. Cool. All right, so I think that's it. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. If you want to know more about Button Shy, go to buttonshy.com. If you want to check out the Kickstarter, we've posted the link a bunch in the chat. If you want to know more about Vorpal Board and how this whole thing that we just did works, check out vorpalboard.com or any of our videos here on the Twitch channel or on our YouTube. We have all sorts of videos of us playing. The goal is to be able to let you play just anything. So any game you take out of your closet or whatever, we have a tool set to try to help you get it online to play with people. Kevin, I always ask, what was it like playing your game on the system? What did you think?
Yeah, this worked really well. Yeah, I've used like Tabletop Simulator or Tabletopia before, and like this like I love how you're able to import the cards in to play anything with this, and yeah, it just works.
Yeah, so this one, in this case, we have the ability to scan cards in via like a mobile app. In this case, Jason just supplied us with the print and play, and I just brought the digital versions in, so the art is perfect, essentially, right? So we kind of hope that one day it might be a really good tool that the design community is using to be able to just take a bunch of card images, drop them in here, mess with ideas.
Especially with iteration of design, like you don't want something that's going to take you so long to set up, and you need all these, coding that you don't know. Yep, it's super fast.
And there are features that are coming that I cannot mention that are going to make it even easier. So soon for real Vorpal Board fans in the chat, they probably know kind of what I'm thinking of. what might be coming. So cool. Well, thank you so much to both of you for joining during the Kickstarter. I really appreciate it. Congratulations. I hope it has a huge finish.
Thank you.
I don't know if I guess it doesn't have a chance to go after Tussie Mussy, which I think is the biggest one. Or did Agropolis beat Tussie Mussy?
Agropolis was just like
Insane.
Was like, yeah, it was double Sprawlopolis, almost double Sprawlopolis, which was a little higher than Tussie Mussy.
Okay.
So that's our big new one is Agropolis to hit, which had the push of our most popular game before it driving it, and yeah. So it's going to be hard to beat that, but right now we're beating our standards by a ton.
Yeah.
So everything's been raised, and it's been a good year.
Yeah, that's great. That's super great.
We're happy.
It's funny. I didn't even realize how big Agropolis got because I backed it, and then I just don't think I ever looked at it again. I mean, honestly, that's one of the nice things about buying stuff from you guys on Kickstarter, because like I know you're not supposed to think about this, so everybody cover your ears. I just feel of it like buying it on Kickstarter. Like they say this is not a store.
Oh, yeah.
You're not supposed to.
No, it's a store.
But like for you guys,
when it comes up in a half hour and rebrands itself, you'll see it's a store.
Right. But I never have any concerns about fulfillment and delivery and the quality of the games and stuff. So I buy them and then I just never look at it again. Serena
awesome.
Diat, is there a table flip option? There isn't. There isn't a table flip option. You could.
Is that the secret one coming?
If you wanted to, you could select all the cards and like flip them all over at the same time. If you wanted to just be a jerk.
I just can't stop looking at that roll all button at the top, and I just want that to flip them.
Oh yeah, that's for dice rolling.
I see it. Yeah.
Like you and I have never been able to play anything with dice rolling in here. You got to that's your next design challenge. Use dice.
Yeah, it's 18 cards and some dice.
Yeah, 18 cards and 1d6. Right. You can make a little slot in the bag. No, I think that's it. No other major questions from chat. So, guys, thanks a lot.
Thank you for having us again. This is always
thanks
fun.
for having us.
I love doing it.
Of course. And good luck with the rest of the campaign. And maybe we will catch you all in Philadelphia. Let's all cross our fingers that we'll see each other in Philadelphia end of the year. All right.
It'll be fun.
All right. Goodbye, viewers.
See you, everyone.